Look, the dynamic duo.
Let's talk about Jesus's request to talk about characters that have not been done yet that we would like to see done. And he mentioned Turok, Son of Stone, and the Herculoids.
Mhm.
What's your opinion on characters that not been done that should be done, and Turok and Herculoids?
First of all, I agree with him completely. I feel that Hanna-Barbera in particular, that Hollywood has dropped the ball repeatedly by ignoring these characters. I truly have been begging the heavens to give us a Johnny Quest movie for decades. We need a Quest film. The Herculoids, if done correctly, I think would be fabulous, especially with Masters of the Universe on the horizon. I think the Herculoids would be fantastic. I honestly believe, although one is coming, I don't agree with the casting. They are doing a live action Jetsons movie with Jim Carrey in the lead as George, and I
Are
think
they really?
he's too old. Uh-huh. I really think he's way too old for it. In my opinion, the Jetsons should have been done as a movie decades ago with, of all people, if you had to get a name, Chevy Chase as George Jetson.
Interesting.
I
Interesting.
I really think Chevy would have pulled it off. The one problem that they would have had with Chevy in the role is I think it would have come across too much like one of the vacation films. Um, Hanna-Barbera has had so many characters that deserve um, time on screen. In my opinion, Space Ghost
I was
should
thinking that.
be done as a movie. Okay,
Yeah.
we should have not only had a Johnny Quest film years ago, but to be honest, I think it would have been fabulous to do films based on either the Mytor character or even Frankenstein Jr.
I'm at a loss here because, believe it or not, there's a gap. I have a huge gap in my lifetime, especially around the Hanna-Barbera characters. Some of them, like Son of Turok, I don't even know what that is. The Herculoids, I've never seen, ever seen. No, I've never seen them. Space Ghost, I know of it. I'm kind of a fan, but I've never really watched it. I just like the little clips that I see, and it looks cool.
Right.
Johnny Quest, also, I never really watched. I'm much more aware of Johnny Quest because it's been remade. It's been remade many times. Um, Johnny Quest, for example, that should have been a no-brainer. That should have been made into either a series or a movie like a long time ago. Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Um, for me, and so I don't know to what extent these movies should or couldn't be. I can't tell you about Herculoids because I don't know it. And I don't know how big they were, how beloved they were. I don't. So I can't opine on something that I don't know. I think it's a no-brainer for Johnny Quest because Johnny Quest, survived. I know Johnny Quest. I don't know Herculoids. But for me, the movie, the character that, um, and we've talked about this, and you've actually explained to me why that's not the case. But I would do anything in my power to make a current Flash Gordon movie. And let me tell you why a current Flash Gordon movie. The Flash Gordon movie is kind of like Jack Kirby's art. That is to say, on the surface, it doesn't look good. On the surface, it looks silly. Looks like whatever. It looks like, you know, but when you actually go beyond that low special effects quality stuff, there's actually a movie there. There's actually a good story, an epic story there. And it's actually much better than it is. It's action packed and it's not dated. A lot of these shows, like, the Jets, not the Jetsons because Jetsons the future, but a lot of these shows kind of dated, like Tarzan or Doc Savage, or Phantom, the Phantom. A lot of these characters are kind of dated into their eras. But Flash Gordon is set in a different universe, set in the future. That you can do Flash Gordon, and and I think if you handle Flash Gordon right, it could be an awesome movie. It could be if you do away with the bad special effects of the original movie and you bring in some really good actors and some good directing. I think what's there, the essence of Flash Gordon, that movie could be remade into an awesome, and I'm saying the word awesome movie. That's where I would go. The other stuff, Herculoid, Son of Turok, I'll leave that up to you guys to determine whether or not they should be made or they deserve to be made or if there's going to be an audience reaction. Is the public, is Herculoids in the subconscious of the American public? Is it? You tell me.
I wouldn't say it's in the subconscious per se, but there is enough of a fan base out there, I think, to support such a project.
Yeah. A generation grew up on the Masters of the Universe. A generation grew up on the Masters of the Universe. A generation grew up on Voltron, on G.I. Joe, on Transformers. In my mind, and that's just me. I don't put Herculoids in that category, but I may well be wrong. I don't know. I don't know.
Honestly, I would say yes to a generation growing up with the Herculoids, with Frankenstein Jr., Space Ghost, all of those things from the Hanna-Barbera line of the 60s.
Yeah, I wasn't in the country at the time, so
Right.
I was completely, yeah.
I just truly think that Johnny should still be considered.
I think Johnny's a no-brainer. I think Johnny's
I really do. I mean, casting wise, if they had done the movie early enough, I think Tom Skerritt, the actor who played Viper in Top Gun, I don't want to get him confused with Michael Ironside. He looks like Johnny's father, Benton West.
Interesting.
And before he got older, to be honest, back in the day, I would have almost thought on a serious level that maybe Macaulay Culkin, when he was still a kid, would have made a perfect Johnny.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I just think they've blown it by not utilizing the these characters.
I agree with you. He did the Richie Rich movie. He should have done a
Uh-huh.
Johnny Quest. He should have done a Johnny Quest movie.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We have 1,000 subscribers, Kevin. We are on our way to becoming huge. YouTube.
Uh,
I should,
my
I should.
mind, my mind is still blown, folks. Thank you so much for the support and for giving Franz and I a home.
There you go. There you go. Actually, it does mean a lot, and we appreciate your support for sure. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share to help the channel grow. Join us next time on the next episode of the Dynamic Duo.
Hey guys, as we always say, there are a lot of very important things that are going on in the world, and we do this show not to ignore those things, but we do it in spite of those things. And I encourage all of you to educate yourselves. There are a lot of channels out there that give you good information about what's going on, and I recommend that you guys, there's I can't yeah, the Majority Report. Go to the Majority Report on YouTube, and you'll get some really good information, and it just starts from there. I can't think of all the names right now.